Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about silent letters in English. This is a very important topic because if we don't know how to recognize and how to read some of the words, we will give an incorrect definition and we can confuse ourselves. We got to know that the English language is full of words whose written form can be deceptive. Unlike a language like Spanish, in English we rarely sound out all the letters that we see. The first letter or silent letter that I am going to talk about is the K. The K in English is traditionally a hard sounding vowel that will sound like K or Ka, especially when it's at the end of a word like back. However, when the letter K precedes the letter like N at the start of the word, it falls silent, such as no. This is a very interesting word because even though the K is silent, we don't say the sound like K or no. It is not pronounced the same way as no. We can see the difference over here. The second silent letter is P. The P, usually a popping sound made at the front of the mouth, is silenced when precedes an S. Most of these words with silent P's are to do with the mind or the medicine of the mind. Indeed, when P or P starts a word, it is almost always medical. This is thanks to its Greek origins, like pneumonia, that it is caused when you catch excessive cold. Also has a silent P, so it is pronounced pneumonia. Finally, you will ever know and find a silent P in the middle of words such as receipt. In English, we say receipt with no P sounding in the second syllable, though some would argue that the P is there to slightly soften the word. Well, we have the silent C. A bit like the K, the C is usually a hard sound like followed an H. CH is softened. Think the word cheese and cheers. However, when following an S, it is often silent. An example of this is muscle. Whilst you do not hear the C, it does slightly change the sound. Seen, for instance, has the first sound slightly further forward in the mouth than seen. Likewise, the C's works in slightly soften what would otherwise be a very hard hissy S sound. Other keywords with silent C's include ascend, descent, fascinate, fluo, recent, incandescent, obscene, scene, scenario, or scented. The silent G. This is one of our favorites. There are many words which sound normal and should be spelled in a normal, simple way. And all of a sudden, there's a G in there. Foreign is a classic example. The only thing foreign in that word is the G. We don't sound the hard G sound of the G in these words, but its inclusion does give a slight lengthening of the vowel sound for rain. Here's a few more examples. Gnome, Benind, Malin, design, Nash, sign. A great example of how the silent G isn't quite silent if we don't pronounce the G at all. This would be sin. However, the G lightens and elongates the vowel sound to be pronounced sign. This is true for all IGN words. Imagine that the IGN sounds like sign, design. Now we have the silent B. There are plenty of words in the English language that's muggle in a B where it's not needed supposedly. The silent B, usually coming after an M, is not pronounced B, as it would normally be at the front of a word like boy. However, as with most of these examples, it does soften and slightly elongate the word. So, Tom would sound like Tom, or the name Tom. If we just took out the B, Tom is pronounced Tom. Here are some key examples like climb, comb, crumb, depth, thumb, or womb. The silent N. Not dissimilar of the silent B, the silent N usually appears after an M and is not pronounced N as an normally, but simply functions to soften the word's final vowel sound a little. The N is silenced within the mouth, but it makes these words subtly longer than if they just ended in M. Damn, solemn, condemn, or column. The silent T. The confusing silent T. The T or T sound is one of the most recognizable and strong sounds in the English language. Yet in the middle of silent listen, it disappears. Instead, the T becomes a little like another, slightly shorter S. Listen becomes listen. Whistle is whistle. Here's a few more: hustle, jostle, apostle, Bristol, thistle, or